There are so many big characters in LEGO games, and in this video we are going to be ranking them all from worst to best. Starting off with number 131, we have the character behind me. Yes, that massive tin can. He has no attacking animations. All he can do in the game is moonwalk. Anakin Skywalker is not the chosen one. He's just a giant trash can, and yes, he is a big character, and TT Games couldn't even be bothered giving him a death animation. He just fades away. Goodbye. The character appears for like half a second in The Force Awakens, and you cannot even tell it's a droid. Next at number 130, we have the first ever LEGO game big character, the Rancor from the complete saga. Oh, back in the day, this was such a cool secret, enabling extra toggle and playing as the Rancor, but today, it doesn't even feel like a big character because the camera is so far away, and even back in the day, I don't even think the character was that good. He is so slow, and to destroy stuff, you literally have to walk into it, and this is how fast he goes. Oh my, if he goes any slower, he'll stop. Thankfully, he was Jabba's pet because bro is not surviving on his own. Then you also have the Wampa. He's the exact same, and I put him above the original Rancor because I prefer his design. It's actually kind of terrifying. It beats the piranha-looking Rancor. Next, we have the Omni Droid. I might as well be playing as the boulder in Indiana Jones. I was so disappointed by this character. Like, they made LEGO Incredibles, and the Omni Droid is one of the most iconic parts of the Incredibles, and they made him exclusive to a bonus level. You cannot even play him in the open world. He has no attacking animations. All you can do is roll around. To be honest, I do not get why he is not in the character roster. I modded him into the open world, and he worked completely fine, but then again, all he can do is roll around. What a waste. This character could have been miles better. You know what he's good for? The Pixar lamp. Flatten him. Number 127, we have Groot Original. I hate this character. He genuinely looks like a giant turd. And you know what they say, you cannot polish a turd, and they actually tried to. They put the Things animations on Groot, and it just doesn't resemble the character at all. At least they got him correct in LEGO Marvel 2, but they didn't get the levels correct. I'm sorry, I am going to town on this turd. Wait, I realised what I just said. I never thought I would ever say that. Honestly, the quicker we forget about this version of Groot, the better. The only reason he is above the others is because he can attack. The next character is only a little bit better than Groot, and that is Ravage. He is literally just a desaturated Hulk with a ginger beard. He's one of the dullest characters in LEGO Marvel Avengers. Nobody is playing as Ravage. That's why he is so low down. And next we have another Hulk villain, Hulk Killer. When I was younger, I always thought this character looked like a giant Sour Patch Kid, and you know what? I still do. Now, a little lore about the Hulk Killer. He is a humanoid built by the leader, and he is completely resistant to all kinds of physical attacks. So why is he not invincible in this game and have silver hearts? Now, it may seem like I am nitpicking there, but let me tell you why. He is 50,000 short of a million. A million? For Red Hulk with a buzz cut, and in the comics, he is meant to be pink. Like, if they made him pink, that maybe would justify the price tag because he would stand out. Number 124, Green Skin Smash Troll. What a name. I wonder why they called him that. I'm still kind of shocked TT Games got away with adding this character because his entire thing in the Marvel comics is that he likes a drink, and when he has a drink, he goes around and smashes stuff. And I love that his quest is basically him trying to redeem himself, going around to pubs and fixing what he's done. And I love his voice in this game, like, hello. That's what he sounds like.
Look at some hearty revelry last
He's
night.
a fun Hulk variation, and honestly, they killed it with the design. It's just he doesn't do much. Next is technically the most recent LEGO game big character we have gotten, and that's Grumgar. For the ranking, I'm just going to include one Grumgar because there's not much difference between the Force Awakens variation and the Skywalker saga one. The LEGO Star Wars games do not have many big characters apart from the obvious ones, and to say this is the most recent LEGO game, I thought they would have added something to spice up the big character formula, but they just unfortunately didn't. They actually do less because they cannot pick up boulders and throw them, and I prefer Grumgar in The Force Awakens because of his running animation. It looks like he's listening to music and bobbing his head along. Number 122, Mammoth. That's one funny looking mammoth. Now, this is technically the worst big character in LEGO DC Supervillains, and LEGO DC Supervillains has some really good big characters. Yet, what is strange about him is that he has an ability no other character has, but it's completely useless. He just roars. Now, I thought this might have doubled his damage or maybe shatter glass, but it's completely useless. I guess you can switch to him and scream if you get stuck at a puzzle. He is a funny character to play as, and I just love the screen button, even though it's useless. It's something different. 121, Calibac. Every time I spawn in as this character, not like I do much, he always says, I am the legendary Calibac. I'm sorry, you're not that legendary. When you take away his T-Rex mech in the story, you just have a hairy dude. That's all he is, with a teleportation ability. His dad has that, and his dad is miles better. Yes, his dad is Darkseid, and to say he is a major villain in the story, you just expect more from him. Dodging attacks using his teleport button can be quite fun to do, but Darkseid has this and many other characters like Steppenwolf. And let's not talk about him in LEGO Batman 3. He looks like a powerlifter after a competition. I've just merged the two versions of Calibac together, and it annoys me how his T-Rex mech is not even in the vehicle grid. Like, why? The next character is kind of controversial because you either like him or you don't, and that is Ultimate Green Goblin. Personally, I do not. I'm not a major fan of the Ultimate appearances, and he is an Abomination clone. Got you there, didn't I? That's why he is above the others, because Abomination's animations are just simply some of the best. Like, when he picks up a boulder, it's so cool how it flies up into the air and he catches it. So satisfying, like collecting a purple stud. If he was in a more recent LEGO game, they probably would have gave him his glider, a bit like how Granny Goodness has a glider, because he did have that in a LEGO set, as that would make me accept him as Green Goblin. I guarantee you have no idea who this next character is, but at number 119, I've put Crusher Rudown, or Rudun. This is one of those characters that are so funny, it makes them good. Like, look at him run. Wait, guys, wait for me. The way they incorporated brick-built elements into the big character mold was honestly really clever, and there's no other big character like him, and that's what makes him stand out. But I have no idea how he grabs hold of strength handles. Look at his hands. I was struggling to think when he appears in Star Wars, and I looked him up on the internet, and oh, he looks so sad. This isn't a sympathetic placement, honestly. I think Crusher Rudun, yes, I'm saying his name in a Scottish accent now, deserves to go here, because there's no other character who is half brick built like him. He just suffers because he has no special attacks. All he can do is basic slam attack and punch. Number 118, Venom, from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Obviously, when you look at Venom as a character on his own, he's an S-tier character, but just looking at Big Venom without the transformation, he feels like Temu Ultimate Venom. And it makes my wee boil that they left in Hulk's sound effects. Now, I appreciate, that they gave him some symbiote particle effects onto certain attacks, which makes him stand out a little bit. That's why I put him above Crusher Rudun. Now, next up is a bomb. I know it's a bomb I'm having you on. Now, this character has made it into all 3 LEGO Marvel games. How? I don't know. To sum up A-Bomb, nobody really dislikes him, but he's just that friend in the friend group who is just there. Oh, hey A-Bomb, I didn't see you there. I put him above the original Big Venom because he doesn't feel outdated. He has stayed consistent throughout all the games, and honestly, he's fine. He's just one of those characters that sits in the roster. Number 116 is our first DLC character on the ranking, meaning he is the worst big DLC character, and that is Bonk. Yeah. If you do not know who Bonk is, he is a Joker henchman in the Batman Beyond series, and I don't get why they made him look like this. In Batman Beyond, this is how he looks, and then in the LEGO game, they made him look like a Disney character. I wouldn't say he is worth the extra money, but I've had more fun with Bonk than A-Bomb because I love running around shouting bonk when I hit people. You're gonna get that bonk, bonk, bonk. At number 115, we have Cull Obsidian. He has a weapon which makes him stand out above the others, but I do not like how they handled his weapon. In Infinity War, when he throws it, you can see that a chain is attached to it, but in the LEGO game, they just made it act like Mjolnir, and the chain is what made him so cool in Infinity War, and they easily could have gave him a move similar to, say, Grundy's in LEGO DC Supervillains. I know this isn't TT Games' fault because they based it off the LEGO design, but his weapon is meant to be an axe, not a hammer. Now, only just beating Cull Obsidian, we have Curse with a K. Straight away, the original version is miles better than the Dark World version of Curse, and it was annoying because we kept getting cursed with getting that version of Curse. They did slightly update him in Avengers, and I always liked how both versions look like something out of Dark Souls. Oh, TT Games should have done that for his boss fight in the open world. We need a massive red health bar and dramatic music. Mind you, the music is already dramatic. You can't beat... In a similar way to A-Bomb, his design makes him good, and that's why I put him above Cull Obsidian. Next up at number 113, we have your mum. Me bodyguard. Original characters in LEGO games are just the best, and we do not get many of them, and the mummy bodyguard scores extra points for being original. He plays exactly how I would expect, and his design is so cool when you ignore the fact that his skirt piece looks like his dong from behind. If you are a massive LEGO game fan, you may notice that his animations are the exact same as Solomon Grundy's from LEGO Batman 3, and I do not mind TT Games reusing animations from older LEGO games as long as it suits the character, and it does here. Number 112, Lord Business. Now I know what you may be thinking, he's a minifigure. Well, when he equips his giant legs, he technically becomes a big character, and you can build him in the bedroom. So I'm putting him down as a big character. Now Lord Business, when he has his giant legs equipped, cannot do anything apart from kick stuff. Why I put him above some of the others is because he is distinct, there's no other character like him, and I guess it suits the character that all he can do is walk around and kick stuff because he doesn't do much in the movie with his long legs. But it would have been nice to maybe see a bit more from him. And I didn't want to say this, but his tiptoe animation looks like he's hitting the griddy. Oh no, I said it. Ugh. At number 111, what would you get if Venom and Hulk had a child? You'll get this character, Hulk 2099. This has got to be one of the most disturbing LEGO game characters, and I am so glad that there is no transformation. I do not want to see what Bruce Banner's like. And this version of Hulk uses the newer Hulk animations, which makes him immediately better than some of the other big characters, and you might like this design. I personally don't mind it, I just think it's disturbing. I wonder if Black Widow would fall in love with this Hulk. And talking about Hulk, next up at number 110, it's his kid, Scar. No, not the one from Lion King. He may just seem like Hulk with a sword, but they actually gave this character a special charge-up move, and oh my, it's so bad and dramatic. It looks like he's just seen someone die in battle. No! Okay, Darth Vader. Trust me, the sound effects do not make it any better. There's no major difference between the two Scars, and I'll give him extra points for the little trick he does in Avengers where he throws his sword in the air and catches it. Well done, your dad be so proud. And above Scar, I've put the Krogan Warrior because I prefer his design, and most people just call him Korg. How you doing? I'm Korg. Ignore that, that was a really bad impression. And his charge-up move actually is effective at killing enemies, unlike, you know... Next on the ranking is a character who is on a similar power level to Thanos and Darkseid, but he just doesn't feel like he is, and that's Doomsday. I still cannot believe it, but in LEGO Batman 3, they messed up on Doomsday. He is an ancient Kryptonian, so he should be invincible like Superman, and he isn't. And you can see through his mouth in this game, like what the... But they at least fixed the invincibility in LEGO DC Supervillains. That's honestly what makes him pretty good, but they should have given him more abilities. He does have heat vision. Why didn't they just give it him? I mean, Martian Manhunter has it when he's big. There's not much difference between the two Doomsdays, that's why I've counted him as one, and I gotta admit, I prefer the design in DC Supervillains a lot more. Next up on the ranking at number 107, we have Molitor, and then at number 106, we have Quinton Strider. As much as The Force Awakens was a pretty bad LEGO game, it had some awesome bonus levels, like the Dijaric battle. The characters they made for this bonus level are just gorgeous. Their designs are just beautiful, and that's what makes them so good, but I wish that they were invincible because they're holograms at the end of the day. They shouldn't be able to die. Oh, and the thought just occurred to me, why are big characters in this game useless in the shootouts? Can they not throw boulders or something? They just walk into them and die. I ain't sacrificing myself. And why I put Quinton Strider above Molitor is because he looks like Big Sandman from Spider-Man 3. Come on, he does. It's a spitting image. Next up at number 105, we've got Mongol. Now, most characters in LEGO games shoot beams from their hands or eyes, but Mongol shoots it from his pecs. And when you shake your reticle from left to right with his pec cannon, it looks like he's dancing. I'm glad we got Mongol, and I love his questline in the game where he makes his own Lego game. It's just his cheesy 80s design is a bit bland. I've put him above the others because he actually has the first useful ability on this ranking, which is a beam. Next up, we have the evil demon Etrigan. Dun dun dun. When this character first appeared in Lego Batman 3, I honestly thought he was a fish. He's meant to be an evil demon. Now, that version of Etrigan is completely different and better, so I'm counting it separately. Now, the one we got in Lego DC Supervillains is still good, it's just a bit basic. He's like Scar, with a heat beam and a better design than Mongol. That is the end of all the D tier big characters. We are now moving into the C tier big characters, and coming in at number 103, we have the Mindless One. If you do not know anything about the Mindless Ones, they're basically overpowered henchmen who travel across dimensions destroying stuff, and they were created by Plocter, and he is a part of the Doctor Strange DLC pack, and in the level for the DLC, you can see them crawl out and attack Dormammu. He looks like something out of Lego Rock Miners, and I loved that theme so much as a kid, and he has the quietest beam I have ever heard in a Lego game. Seriously, have a listen. Now, I wouldn't go out my way to buy the Doctor Strange DLC just for the Mindless One, but for a henchman in a DLC, he's pretty decent. Next at number 102, we have Wrath from the Shazam DLC pack. Now, I kinda get why they chose to give him monkey animations, because he does move like that a little bit in the film. It does seem a little bit lazy, and how many more monkey characters do we need? They might as well make Lego Planet of the Apes. Oh my, that would actually be really good. At least he has quite a few abilities, and they did make him his own teleport dodge. That's why he's not any further down the ranking. He's just a monkey clone. Number 101, Torg. Why they decided to make this character one of the main villains in Lego Marvel 2 is still so bizarre to me, and what is even more bizarre is his special charge-up move moves faster than other characters who have this ability. Gotta go fast. I just wish he could swim this fast since he is an underwater character. I know a lot of people hate Torg because of that underwater level. He's fine. I know nobody's picking him, but you got to appreciate the special attack they gave him where he juggles enemies with his feet. Coming in at number 100, look for the bare necessities. It's Ursa Major, a giant Soviet bear. You don't see many bear characters in Lego games. You literally only have two. You've got Ursa Major and then Beast Boy Bear in Lego DC Supervillains, and he is my number 99th pick. Because of that, they do feel special. That's why I put him here on the ranking, and Beast Boy Bear even has his own charge-up attack. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't get why you would charge it up. When you do, it can only attack one enemy at a time. You might as well just click attack. The 10 men walk that they both do is brilliant. Get out of my way, I'm Big Bear. And I only just realized, how terrifying does he look in dark lighting, Ursa Major? Number 98, Orc Berserker. This big character in Lego Hobbit doesn't look like much until you start to attack with him. You're going to want to cover your ears. That is why the Orc Berserker is at number 98. The sound design on him just makes him feel like an absolute unit, and I find it so funny that you've got this proper serious screaming orc, and on top of him is two smiling skulls. What a absolute mad lad. He's a screaming idiot, that's why I've put him above the bears. Now, only just beating the Orc Berserker at number 97 is a giant crab, otherwise known as the Brine King, and what I discovered about him is if you stay idle with him, he will begin to do the crab rave. And then he has another one where he kind of dances like Spanish Buzz Lightyear. And they gave him advanced swimming so he can swim faster, unlike Torg in Lego Marvel 2. At least they learned. He's pure memes. What's not to love about the Brine King? Well, he only has one ability, and that's seeing in the dark. Yes, correct, Amundo. That's why I've not put him any higher. Scraping just above the Brine King at number 96 is the Living Totem. Let me explain. This is the silliest looking Lego game character ever made. You know when something's that bad, it's good? That is the Living Totem. Just look at this abomination. And he even has his own charge-up attack, which you would expect Kingpin to have. He pulls out a staff and starts to do a little dance, and then he charges at you. His goofiness is why he is here on the ranking. Number 95 is our first character from Lego Incredibles. It's Brick. So, what would you like your supervillain name to be? brick. The way they did the super jumping in this game just feels the smoothest out of all of the Lego games, and it makes the big characters a lot more enjoyable. And similar to the Orc Berserker, the constant screaming just amplifies my enjoyment of this character. And let's not talk about the screams she does as she starts her super move. Pure gold. And Lego Incredibles again did the super moves better than previous Lego games. I don't know why, they just cooked with the super jumping and the super moves. Number 94, Etrigan from Lego Batman 3. He is a mashup character and he takes the best parts of multiple characters like Atrocitus, you know, his bull charge attack. Well, he has that minus the bull. Use the force, Etrigan. And is it just me, or does his appearance in this game look like something out of Invincible? Because he is a mashup character, he's very good because he's super versatile. It's just he lacks originality. I like how they tweak some of the animations though. They didn't just copy and paste. At number 93, get ready to see the silliest Lego game running animation ever. It's Parasite. Ooh. This Lego game character may seem like an absolute joke, but honestly, he's got one of the best charge up moves. It charges instantly, and the animation on it where it causes a massive electrifying blast is so cool. And then after he sprints away like this. If it was any other character, this would affect their placement on the ranking, but it just suits Parasite. He cannot pick boulders up in this game. He literally just goes, I don't know. A funny character who's actually pretty decent in terms of abilities, unlike the living totem. Between the two Parasites, there really isn't much difference. I just prefer his appearance in Lego Batman 3, personally. Number 92, Beast Boy Gorilla. Then we've got Ultra Human Eye, and then Gorilla Grodd from Lego Batman 3. All of the monkeys in Lego Batman 3 play the same. They all have this epic chest banging move where they bang their chest and scream, and Beast Boy Gorilla's at the bottom because he's just a green reskin of Gorilla Grodd without Grodd's abilities. And then you have the Ultra Humanite, who is just a clone of Gorilla Grodd. He literally said, "Ooby-doo, I wanna be like you." So far on this ranking, Grodd actually has the most abilities. He can mind control and use technology. That's why he's at the top, and his questline in the game is so funny. He just wants a banana.
A banana. Yes, a banana. Bring one to me.
I do not really have any complaints for these older monkeys. It's just that they improved them in Lego DC Supervillains. That's why I've not put them any higher. And next up at number 89, we've got Gorilla Girl. She is so freaky. I do not know why she turns around in her transformation. And I love super jumping around the city and climbing buildings with her like King Kong. She doesn't have the abilities, but she's going above because you're not limited to the awful planets. And she is the only gorilla to have her own animations and not reuse other gorilla animations. Number 2, Fat Ladies, Manape. Manape, to me, had one of the best boss battles in Lego Marvel 2. I mean, it's not like he had much competition. Because he is a main villain, unlike what they did with Torg, they made him pretty good, and they gave him this rolling ability, which is so effective at collecting studs. Easily one of the most fun Lego game character abilities. That's why I've scraped Manape above Gorilla Girl. The dawn of the Planet of the Apes is over. Next at number 87, Colossus. Having one of the coolest secrets in a Lego game being able to do the fastball special with Wolverine is enough to put him this high up on the ranking, and you cannot fault his design. Shiny characters will never not be cool. He's perfect. There's not much more you can do to Colossus to make him any better. It's just that there is better characters. And at number 86, here's the thing. The wedding ring idol animation is such a fun nod to the old classic Fantastic Four movies, and I like how instead of the Hulk clap, he scrapes his hand into the floor. It activates super quickly, and I like it when he hugs an enemy and then throws them into the air. My only complaint with the thing is that he doesn't shout, "It's clawing time," enough. Number 85, the original Hulk. I had the hardest time deciding where to put the original big character. At the end of the day, a lot of things stemmed from the Hulk. He still holds up today. The Puny God special attack never gets old, and Hulk Clap was the foundation for a lot of big characters' shockwave attacks. They did improve Hulk in Lego Marvel Avengers and made him feel even more destructive, but I just do not like his appearance in Lego Marvel 2. It's so ugly to me. Like, just use Hulk Ragnarok. We will get onto Lego Marvel Avengers Hulk later. Then I put Stan Hulk above, or should I say Excelsior Hulk, that is his official name. I've been calling him Stan Hulk all this time. time. Such a funny variation, but what isn't funny is how they took away Excelsior Hulk from Stan Lee in LEGO Marvel 2. Like, why? Next I have Red Hulk. He is the best out of the 3 original Hulks, and he hasn't changed much between all 3 LEGO Marvel games, aside from them giving him flames on his attacks in LEGO Marvel 2. I know, right? One of the few things LEGO Marvel 2 did good. Beating the original Hulks at number 82, Doombot V series, and then we have Iron Man Mark 38. These 2 characters look totally different, show up in different LEGO Marvel games, but they play the same and they are criminally underrated. There is no better feeling than picking up an enemy and just keep hitting them in the face to throw them into a wall, or even better, another enemy. When that happens, oh, there's no better feeling. And when they slam the ground, they flex like gym bros who have just hit chest day. Ugh. Though they're the same, Iron Man Mark 38 could have been a hell of a lot higher on the ranking if they included him on the Iron Man suit selection screen. I don't get why they didn't. They could have even put him in without a transformation. Mark 38 with Iron Man's abilities would be S tier. Just beating Mark 38 at number 80 is Killer Croc LEGO DC Supervillains. This is such a downgrade from what we got in LEGO Batman 3. I mean, he's not terrible. He wouldn't be above Mark 38 if he was. He's got totally unique animations and he can throw fish at people. It's goofy but good. And his design is good, but you just can't help compare him to how he was in LEGO Batman 3, and that version is A tier. Number 79, King Shark LEGO Batman 3. Idle animations in LEGO games are the cherry on top. They make characters even better, and King Shark might have the best LEGO game idle animation ever. I know, how insane is this? It plays music and spawns in 2 floating sharks. Yeah, that's his idle animation. And his design gave me a good chuckle because they literally strap the bomb to his fin because he's part of the Suicide Squad. Same for when he attacks, because he attacks with literal sharks. As amazing as his idle animation is, you've got to be idle to activate it, obviously, and that's not fun just standing around. But in LEGO DC Supervillains, they made it an ability, and that's why this version of King Shark is at number 79, and I prefer the updated appearance of how they actually used a LEGO shark piece for his head. It's just a lot more charming, and instead of attacking with his own species, now he throws mini Patricks at people. Starfish! He's a perfect mashup of King Shark from Batman 3 and Killer Croc in DC Supervillains. Number 77, Hobbit 327, and then at number 76, we've got Core 34. You know in LEGO games when you activate a technology panel and you get to control a gigantic mech, but you never can unlock them? That is what these characters feel like, but the best thing is, you can be them whenever you want. Brick-built characters are just the best, and they look like something out of Titanfall, and I found this out the other day, but if you try to build with Core 34, it looks like he's flipping off the camera. I am not building this, F off. Their designs are that good, it makes me want to buy the pieces and build them in real life, and that's why I put them above King Shark. They could have come up with a better super move for them though. Picking up a boulder out of the floor and then putting it back into the floor is a bit poo. That is the end of the C tier big characters. We are now moving into the B tier big characters, and at number 75 we have Stomper. You could do some serious WWE stuff with this character, throwing enemies into the air then stomping on them. Watch out, watch out! Oh! Imagine being a Goomba and Stomper's knocking about. She's such a fun character to play. It's just that she's not that interesting in the DC comics, and her design gives me Karen vibes.
Excuse me, behave or I'll stomp on ya.
To me, if a LEGO game character is super fun to play, that's what I love the most about them, and her design is definitely worse than the giant mechs, but I think Stomper's more fun to play, and that's why I put her above. Number 74, Miss Martian. Superboy smashes that. This is definitely, or if not, the creepiest looking LEGO game big character ever, and you know it's bad when she's even scared of herself. Her charge up move is similar to Parasite's and activates instantly, though it looks like she's gonna let loose a massive catastrophic fart. Design wise, I get that it's gonna be 50-50. Some of you are gonna like it, some of you aren't, and I personally do like it. I think it's weird and creepy, and you do not see this big character mold used very often. We've only seen it with Molotov avatar, and Miss Martian has quite a few abilities, including flight. Next up, we have Swamp Thing, Lego DC Supervillains. He is nowhere near as good as what he were in Lego Batman 3, but he was just a Grundy clone in that game. It worked though, and what they decided to do with him in Lego DC Supervillains was make him more comedic. A refreshing approach, which I do not hate, but they should have gave him his wings in this game. And it just lets him down because he is one of the very few characters and the only big character in this game to be able to grow plants. Even though he cannot fly, I decided to put him above Miss Martian, who can fly, because at the end of the day, Miss Martian just gets overshadowed by Martian the Manhunter anyway. It had to be said. I'm sorry, Green Ron Weasley. Number 72, Charlie 27. If only he was called Charlie 72. It would be perfect. Being a DLC character, you can get him very early on in the game. Now, why is that important? Well, for a big character, he is super versatile. He can destroy metal objects with his grenades and golden objects with his giant laser gun, even though the animation on it is a bit questionable. And I only found out the other day that he appears in the MCU. He has a small cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. He is such a handy big character. Next up at number 71, we have the Wampa. Who doesn't love the Wampa in the Lego Star Wars games? And I cannot get over how fed up he looks in The Force Awakens. I just want to be in the snow. They always put so much care into the Wampa, from his dancing in The Force Awakens to him eating a piece of chicken, and then in the Skywalker saga, they did the exact same. And is it just me who wanted them to add a armless Wampa into the Skywalker saga? I don't know why. I want that. He could have used his other arm as a weapon like Miss Nesbit. I've just combined The Force Awakens and Skywalker Wampa into one because there's not much difference, and honestly, they perfected the Wampa in my eyes, apart from not adding an armless variation. To say he is this high up without any abilities shows how well they made the Wampa. And next up, we have Jake the dog without Finn the human. In Lego Dimensions, Jake the dog can transform into two big characters. You have this creepy pasta looking Jake, and then Jake Big Suit. You might be wondering, why is it called Jake Big Suit? And that's because another character can actually jump inside of him, which is honestly such a cool feature, and what it does is double his health and power. And it's clever how they use the character icons for their faces inside the suit. Because of how cool and distinct that feature is, that's why I've put Jake the dog here, and I like creepypasta Jake. It's weird. Number 69, Maestro. Evil Hulk from the future, whose world got absolutely nuked and he absorbed all that gamma radiation and became mega strong. That is a cool character, and I love Maestro. In Lego Marvel 2, he is not as powerful as I would like him to be, but I'm happy with the variation of Maestro they gave us. Hulk with Captain America's shield is awesome, and he looks so menacing in this game, and I'm glad they didn't go down the comedic route with Maestro. It's just a shame that they didn't utilize him in the story of Lego Marvel 2. Why wasn't he a main villain? Sack Torg off. I'm glad they didn't just use the small Captain America shield and instead gave him a brick-built one. He is such an underrated character in Lego Marvel 2 who needs more spotlight. Next up at number 68 is Thanos. Every Lego Marvel game has its own version of Thanos, and I love that they constantly change him up and always try and make him fresh and new, but I think Lego Marvel Avengers has by far the weakest Thanos. His design is the worst, same for his Infinity Gauntlet. It's literally just a big character Lego hand-painted copper. It's not even gold, it needs a good polish. Then you have his animations, which they could have done some new animations to say he is 2.5 million studs. Now, why is he that expensive? Well, he has a lot of abilities. And above him is Thanos from Lego Marvel 1. Now, did you know Thanos in this game is the only DLC character to have totally new animations? Aside from using the Thing's weird running animation, all of his cosmic attacks are new, special attacks, idle animations, whereas all the other DLC characters are just clones of characters already in the base game, or mashups of them. Thanos in Lego Marvel Avengers may have more abilities, but it's so refreshing to have the comic version of Thanos, and his design is better and animations. That's why I put him above. And I do not like how he belly flops in Marvel Avengers. When would Thanos ever belly flop? Number 66, epic transformation time. It's Lex Luthor's mech. Everyone knows Lego Batman 3 had a lot of flaws. Looking at you, planets, but they did the suit so well, especially the giant suits, being able to transform into a massive mech at the snap of your fingers. And they feel so powerful because every time you attack, it causes causes a giant earthquake. When you compare Lex's mech to Cyborg's mech, there is a big difference in quality, but I'm happy that they made them both different and they both feel special in their own regards. They could have made him look a bit more comfortable in the mech though. Can somebody help me out of this thing? Please? Anyone? Next at number 65, the trolls from Lego Hobbit. There are 9 big troll characters in Lego Hobbit and they all play the exact same, but the best 2 by 4 are the troll bouncer, yes, this is a real character, and then the great goblin. And I thought Blob had a big chin, you could fit Middle Earth on it, look at it. It is upsetting how you can only play as the giant trolls in the open world, and I don't get why they do not turn into stone in the daylight. They are nearly bigger than the Rancor, and that's what makes them fun. They're just super big and you feel like you're playing as a boss when you're being them. The giant trolls are what made me want to pick up Lego Hobbit as a kid. They could have been a little higher though if they would have given more attacks than just swinging a club back and forth. How strong are these eagles? Wow. Number 64 is a dumb little pink cat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It's Angry Kitty. You only can play as Angry Kitty for a short amount of time, but in that time frame, you can go on an absolute rampage, and the heavy metal music that plays is straight fire. Have a listen. They didn't do her as good in Lego Dimensions though. They took away the heavy metal music. Like, you do not take away heavy metal from Angry Kitty, and she is so good at stud farming in the Lego movie game. This is how I got the stud multipliers super quick. What lets her down though is how you can only be her for a short amount of time, unless you build her in the bedroom, but oh, that building minigame is awful. I would rather wait. Just beating Angry Kitty at number 63, Batman, but bigger. The decision to make the Dark Knight Returns Batman this big was class. Why didn't they do this with Batfleck? And he feels super agile for a big character. He cartwheels around and jumps in the air when attacking. He almost feels like a modded character, and I just put him above Unikitty because it's big Batman, what is not to love? And he does have a Batarang, which is probably a little bit too small for him. It's just a shame that he cannot do detective stuff like Batman. I mean, Bat-Zaro can, and he's meant to be the worst detective. Number 62, Kingpin. When I were younger, or should I say when I was a boy, I always chose Kingpin because of his awesome cane gun, and back in the day, he was the only big character to have a weapon. And then in Lego Marvel 2, they updated his design, and it just looks so clean here, and they even updated the sound effects on his cane gun. This, to me, is one of the best sounding weapons in a Lego game. His cane and design in Lego Marvel 2 is why I put him above Big Batman. They cannot make him any better. And I forgot to mention his top tier idle animation. Number 61, Fat Man. We have gone from pure muscle to pure fat, and I had to put the Blob above Kingpin because he is one of the funniest Lego game characters ever. You can Kung Fu Panda sit on enemies' faces, then fart on them. Then you have his idle animations where he starts doing jumping jacks. I'm surprised New York City is still standing. And then you have the one where he burps. They put so much care into the Blob, and they didn't have to go all out on Blob like they did. Number 60 is this big guy, Surtur. This is one of the best big fig character designs in Lego games, but what lets Surtur down is how he cannot go big like he does in the level. Fing Fang Foom can do it, why not let Surtur? And I know the flames look really cool on him, but they do get a bit annoying when you are running with the character. They just get in the way. I want to see what's happening. They should have just toned it down on the flames. Now, why I put him above Big Batman is because he has tons of abilities and he's got such an incredible design when you can see it when the flames aren't in the way. Number 59, Wendigo. This Lego game character is genuinely terrifying. It looks like the original Wampa from the complete saga, which we already know is pretty cursed, and then it sprints around on all fours. For a Lego game, Wendigo is a pretty dark character because to become a Wendigo, you basically need to eat the flesh of another human in the Canadian wilderness, and then you transform into this. I know, pretty dark. When playing as Wendigo, you genuinely feel like you're playing as a beast. From the way it attacks and sprints around, TT Games nailed the character. And they did the same with the next character now. They might not have the abilities, but they nailed them. And in the end, I decided that this abomination is better. Probably because he is the first main boss in Lego Marvel Superheroes, they decided to make Abomination better than he actually should be. He has one of my favorite special attacks graphics where he pulls out a teddy bear and it kicks the enemy. I do not get what this is referencing. And like I mentioned earlier with the Ultimate Green Goblin, the way he catches boulders is just so satisfying. And they didn't even update him in Marvel Avengers because they perfected him in the first game. Abomination's sound effects are so iconic, especially his roar. Oh man, it takes me back. Number 57, Kilowog, and then we have Arkilo. Atrocitus, without a doubt, is by far the best Big Lantern character, but these two are seriously slept on. Arkilo's animations are nearly just as good as Atrocitus, but obviously he lacks the big bull charge attack that he has and slam attack. And to say Yellow Lanterns are all about fear, they could have give Arkilo something like that with maybe a giant spider. Oh, that would have been so creepy and cool. And I always found it funny how they hold the ring because they cannot put it on their fingers. Number 55 is this thing. I know, is that not the worst Lego game character icon ever? It doesn't even look like the character. Nobody remembers this big character, and the rock giant is so good, but what is annoying is how he is only limited to the bonus level, and they easily could have made him playable in the open world. He's only just a little bit bigger than the big trolls. I do not get the problem, and I modded him into the game, and they were no issue. What a waste. They put so much care into this character, giving him a charge-up attack just for him to be limited to the bonus level. Such a interesting brick-built character wasted in a bonus level. That's why I've not put him up any higher. Number 54, Anthony. One of the coolest interactions in Lego games is how Ant-Man can jump on top of Anthony and fly. Whenever I do this, it just gives me How to Train Your Dragon vibes. Oh, let's have that soundtrack. Anthony is so disturbing and scary, especially when he is flying at night. Look how terrifying this is. Then he can make himself even bigger, and I've put him here because of his interaction with Ant-Man, and I appreciate that they gave him a targeting ability where he spits on people. I know, it's grim. You gotta give him that tour. There really is no playable character like Anthony. Well, there is Aragog in Lego Harry Potter, but I had to activate him in the game's files, and I regretted that. Ugh. Next up, we have Black Beetle, a character who is from the Young Justice DLC pack, and I've never really cared for the Young Justice members, same for the Young Avengers. I will say, though, it is worth getting the DLC because the level is pretty entertaining where you get to actually battle Black Beetle as a boss, and you get Miss Martian with it. Now, this completely shocked me, but across every single Lego game, Black Beetle is the only big character to have electrical powers, which makes him kinda special, and I love the trail he gives off when he flies. I did originally have Black Beetle a little higher up until I discovered when you use his laser when flying, he bugs out. I know, bugs out. Number 54 is Marvin the Martian, Martian the Manhunter. In his true form, he is just Hulk mixed with Superman. That's why he is so good. Technically, he is better than Superman because he has telekinesis and can do mind control. And even though this is a weakness, I do see it as a cool detail. Similar to Venom, Martian the Manhunter is scared of fire. Number 51, who you gonna call? Hulkbuster. Hulkbusting makes me feel good. The original Hulkbuster has aged really well. You would have thought after they made the giant brick-built Hulkbusters in Marvel Avengers that this one would just feel like a box of scraps. But he doesn't, and I'm so glad they didn't give him flight because the hover mode makes him feel even more unique, and being a big character with Iron Man's abilities is so powerful. I don't know why they didn't give Iron Man Mark 38 his abilities, and I'm sure you all can agree with me here. The brick-built Hulkbusters look miles better, but this design is super clean. Next up, we have the Red King, who is just an upgraded version of the original Hulkbuster. His mech is now brick-built, he has a sword and better rockets. Oh, the explosion on them rockets are so nice. Instead of his standard laser, they should have given him his flamethrower like what he uses in his boss fight, and at least he looks comfortable in his mech, unlike Lex Luthor. I'm still here, guys. Can somebody please help? Like and subscribe to help Lex Luthor out of his mech. Now we are moving into the A tier big characters, and coming in at number 49, we have Hulk from Lego Marvel Avengers. They improved the Hulk so much in Marvel Avengers. His attacks are a lot quicker now and are accurate to the movies, and they just scream Hulk smash a lot more than the first game. They then carried it over over these animations to Hulk in Marvel 2, but they butchered his appearance in this game. What have they done to my boy? But Marvel 2 did give us some other better Hulks, like Totally Awesome Hulk, who is up next. That Maui grin always puts a smile on my face, alongside when he constantly flexes. Like, bro, stop. It's getting a bit too much, and when he Hulk claps, he causes a nuclear explosion. And just when you think the Hulks couldn't get any better, next up we have Hulk Ragnarok. They just added this character because Thor Ragnarok released the same year, but I'm so glad they did, because when you get Hulk Ragnarok, there is no turning back. He is the best Hulk by a long shot. He still moves super quick with 2 giant weapons, and I love how his Hulk clap is even faster. All he does now is just smack his weapons together. And then they gave him a charge attack. And I know I'm not looking at transformations here, but you've got to appreciate how they updated the transformations for both Totally Awesome Hulk and Hulk Ragnarok. This was tough, but above at number 46, we have Gorilla Grodd. Hey, he isn't just a plain gorilla now with his sweet looking armor and proper telekinetic powers. I must say, the gorillas are a lot better in this game than before, and you would expect that. It is a newer Lego game. And I put Grodd above the Hulks because he has a lot of abilities, and above Grodd is a better version of Grodd himself, and that is Solivar. He does everything Grodd does, and he has a spear that he can throw like Mjolnir and a shield which he can charge around with. It is a bit too fast though. Why is it so hard to control? Out of the 3 big gorillas in Lego DC Supervillains, 1 remains, and I decided in the end that he was the best of the 3, and he is up next, and that is Monsieur Malheur. He has one of the coolest secrets in Lego games. You see the giant canister on his back? Well, that is actually called the brain, and very rarely in game it will actually talk to you and tell you to kill enemies.
We will need to find someone else to do this.
And that's not the pure reason why I put him above. Yes, he doesn't have telekinetic powers, but he makes up for it with other abilities like being able to destroy metal, and it's a gorilla with a beret, with a gun, and it's so hilarious how he sprints and shoots. It reminds me of, you know, Cobra in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Then for some bizarre reason, if you target stuff, he turns into Han Solo. Such a fun character with a cool secret. Number 43, Shang Tzu. This is one of the most disturbing and disgusting Lego game characters. He literally shoots mini eggs at people, which could be his children for all we know. Look at the face on this thing, and whatever you do, do not go in the teleporter to Apocalypse. Shang Tzu is not real. He cannot hurt you. He cannot hurt you. Jokes aside, this is why I love Shang Tzu, and I've put him here on the ranking. He's one of the most memorable characters in Lego DC Supervillains, and they should have made Egbert a playable character. You know, from his quest, he's so adorable. Look at him. Oh, I just want to crack him open and make an omelette. He can do technology which a lot of big characters cannot do, and his spinning move is so sick. And if you're wondering, yes, he can super jump like big characters. It'd be funny if he left York wherever he landed. Number 42, we have Rhino, and then at number 41, we have the Juggernaut. I don't know why, but I always pick these 2 big characters, running into cars, knocking them out the way, seeing them explode, and then lining a bunch up and dashing through them. Admit it, we all did this. You either did it with the dash attack or Hulk clap, and there's no better feeling. The way they attack too perfectly matches the characters headbutting the floor, then donkey kicking enemies into the sky. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I prefer the older dash attack. I do not really like charging it up and controlling it myself. I just think it's more fun tapping the button and then watching what happens, and it's more engaging trying to line up the perfect dash. Okay, they definitely lack in terms of abilities, but because of how fun they are, that's why I've put them here. Number 40, Lizard. I was so angry when they took away the abilities for the Lizard to transform back into Kurt Connors in Lego Marvel 2. Why would you do that? And they made him look even better in this game, even letting him do spin jitsu. Now, to me, Lizard is the best big character in Lego Marvel 1 because he has a transformation on par with Venom's, and I know I'm not looking at transformations here, only the big character, but I just want to mention that. And when he is Kurt Connors, he has more abilities than Bruce Banner. And now for when he is actually the Lizard, he can eat enemies, which is such an epic special attack, nom 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 nom, and then throw them into the air with his tail. He can do this too in Lego Marvel 2, and his design is one of my favourites in the second game. And luckily for the lizard, I'm only looking at the big character themselves, so I didn't end up deducting any points for them taking away his transformation. There is one positive though, he can do technology when he's a big lizard in the second game. You don't have to go back to Kurt Connors to do technology. Next at number 39 is another giant reptile. It's Killer Croc. I thought Abomination's boulder picking up couldn't be beaten, but check out Killer Croc's where he picks it up with his jaw. Now, you either prefer the minifigure version of Killer Croc or Killer Croc as a big character, and even if you prefer the minifigure version, you have to admit he does suit being a big character. He is an upgraded version of the lizard, and when he attacks, it's so nice to hear the chains jingle and see the sparks fly off. Next up is Man-Thing. Man-Thing has the most overpowered big character ability for killing enemies. He puts his roots into the floor, and then any enemy that is nearby will just explode when he lets go. He's kind of like the Shrek of Marvel. He sits in his swamp and just wants to be happy. That overpowered ability is what put him above Killer Croc, and he does have an intricate design, and I love how he attacks with his roots. Number 37, Bane. Big Bane has appeared in 3 LEGO games, LEGO Batman 3, LEGO Dimensions, and now in LEGO DC Supervillains with a minigun, and I still do not know if this is a glitch or not. If you target things with Bane's minigun in DC Supervillains, it fires super fast. It's insane. I thought Heavy's minigun were good in LEGO Star Wars 3. We need more minigun characters. Big Bane's design is always beautiful. I do prefer the one in Dimensions because there is more detail on his pecs. It makes him look a bit more muscular, and I like that they ever so slightly change Big Bane between the LEGO games to keep him feeling fresh but not that different. Number 36, that's my son, Gorilla Man. I always say it, he looks like Johnny's dad from Sing. I know they're both gorillas, but come on. I deliberately bought the Agent of Atlas DLC pack just for Gorilla Man because this is what you want with a DLC character. He is lauded for abilities. He can destroy metal and golden objects like Charlie 27. Then he has Man-Ape's special ability where he can roll around and flatten everything. And even though, yes, he is just a mashup character, they went to the effort to tweak his animation so he doesn't just feel like Man-Ape with a gun. This was a bit of a tough decision, but next up we have Captain Clown. Hiya, Georgie. Captain Clown is not just some creepy Joker henchman, he is actually an animatronic. And TT Games captured this really well with the sound effects and how they animated him. That smile is so creepy and ominous, it goes straight to your soul. Not only is he unique and there's no other animatronic big character like him, but they decided to give him Grundy's chain attack, which absolutely decimates everything. I have to mention too that he is a part of my all-time favourite and what I think is the best LEGO game DLC pack, the Batman Animated Series DLC. Number 34,
Granny Goodness.
How did she fit all of that in her mouth? Granny Goodness is like a buffed up version of Aunt May, and she even has the same gramophone ability where she can pull one out and play music. Aunt May's got better taste though.
Who's being naughty?
She just looks so freaky on her glider, and I cannot get over how many handbags she goes through. Mind you, them pieces of candy are pretty big. I love Granny Goodness, she's so silly and fun. Next we have Ironmonger. I'm so happy they made him fly faster than he does in the movie. Come on mate, you can do it. Whoever made the decision to make his heat beam a automatic gun is a legend. And next we have Detroit Steel, who is the exact same but upgraded. In the end, I put him above. Now, I prefer the look and design of Ironmonger, but Detroit Steel has a chainsaw and roller skates on his feet. Yep, that's why he looks like he sprints a bit weird. These two characters and the giant Hulkbusters and then all the Iron Man suits are what made LEGO Marvel Avengers even better for me. It's actually a crime that none of these have returned since, apart from the Hulkbuster, but they took away the transformation again. Stop taking them away. Next up, we have Anchorman from LEGO Incredibles. Now, you will not know who this character is because he is an original character made by TT Games, a bit like Carnum. His concept is quite funny. He was a news anchorman and now is a villain called Anchorman who carries around a giant anchor, and all of his attacks cause a massive tidal shockwave. And then his super move causes a tsunami. His water beam does take a little while to charge up though, come on. Because he's original, you can see they did a phenomenal job with Anchorman, and that's why I put him above Detroit Steel. Next up, we have Graballa the Hutt, then we have Mama the Hutt, then we have Jabba the Hutt. We've got the entire fat family. Graballa the Hutt appeared in The Force Awakens, and he's the worst Hutt to me, but still super fun to play, and I like that they all have very subtle changes between their animations. They're all not the exact same. And when they die, this is how I feel when I think about how it's been 3 years since the last Lego game. Soon, guys. And then we have Mama and Jabba. They updated these for the Skywalker saga, and they can lick people, throw them into the air, and when they jump around, the bouncing sound effect they gave them is criminal. TT, I know they're fat. There's no need for this. And did you know Jabba the Hutt has the same amount of health as the Rancor in the Skywalker saga? All three of them are so well designed and slightly different, and what makes Mama the Hutt different is her voice lines that always crack me up.
He's in a social visit.
Like I said, they're so well designed, that's why they're here. Next, do the roar. Oh, it's Sully. Screaming in enemies' faces isn't just a funny ability, it's actually kind of useful in the game. It stuns them, allowing you to attack. And then in his super move, he literally breaks the sound barrier. Sully just feels a lot more special than other big characters, probably because we haven't had a Lego Pixar game, and it just makes me want one whenever I be him. I wish we got Mike Wazowski though. Number 26, it be Metalbeard. Metalbeard has the most powerful slam attack across every single Lego game. It sends enemies flying and then it stuns them with this really cool animation you rarely see. And though I ain't a big fan of the Lego movie games, the explosions just look so much better being brick built, and Metalbeard's cannon just causes giant explosions. It's like Michael Bay made this character. If he was not limited to the bedroom and you didn't have to build him to play as him, and it doesn't help that he's one of the biggest builds, I would have had Metalbeard higher up, probably just underneath the Hulkbusters. We are now moving into the S tier big characters. Next up we have Groot, Lego Marvel 2. I have spent so long playing around with how many character combos Groot has. Because he's brick built, he is unlike the other big characters. That's why he's got so many combos, and the character interaction between him and Rocket Raccoon, letting him jump on top, is just the best in co-op. And then you can transform into the giant wooden ball from the first movie. I'm so glad they finally did Groot correctly, and they made him S tier. Now next up at number 24 is the Mantelian Savrip, who is just a holographic version of the Rancor. And then next we have the Rancor. Look how big he is in The Force Awakens. He can barely fit onto the screen, and technically the Rancor is the largest Lego game character when you exclude those who can transform even bigger like Fin Fang Foom. I like how the Rancor sprints in The Force Awakens, but I prefer the Skywalker saga one for his design with the weathering effects. He is one of the most fun characters to play, and TT Games knew they couldn't mess him up, and they didn't. Next up, everybody walk the dinosaur. It's Devil Dinosaur. It is actually kind of embarrassing that Lego Marvel has the best Lego game dinosaur, not even Lego Jurassic World. Devil Dinosaur can front flip, eat enemies, and isn't stuck to one certain area. And you may not know that he has a cool character interaction where Rip-Off Wolverine or Moon Girl in Lego Marvel 2 can actually ride on top of him. How they survive when he front flips, I do not know. And what I love so much about him is how you can pick up cars with his mouth and then launch them with your tail. Now, I didn't include the Lego Jurassic World dinosaurs on this ranking because there's quite a lot of them, and I'm going to do a separate one on my shorts tab. This was kind of tough, but going above Devil Dinosaur is Steppenwolf. At first glance, what is the main thing that jumps out with Steppenwolf? His giant axe. He has the largest Lego game weapon. Now, when he's not using it to mix hot lava and chicken, you feel like you're playing as some Dark Souls boss, and you can even dodge attacks with Steppenwolf. That slide along with his design is so sick, and whenever you throw his axe, I just feel like Thor arriving in Wakanda. One of the coolest, most underrated big characters. Same goes for the next character at number 20, who is a washing machine that can turn into a giant mech. That transformation is so seamless. Same for when you exit. Take everything good about Lex Luthor's mech, make him more comfortable, and amplify it to 11. No matter which Lego game, Cyborg's giant suit is unbelievable. But I will say Batman 3 has the best. I love it when you're running, and if you turn the other way, he does this little roll to get straight back into the action. He just feels so smooth to play. They seamlessly integrated his special attacks into his fighting. Same for when he shoots, and then he has this charge up shot which is so satisfying. He's on par with Steppenwolf for how cool he is, but being brick-built and having more useful abilities is why I put him above. Number 19, Swamp Thing from LEGO Batman 3. Now, you may notice that this character plays very similar to another big character in LEGO Batman 3, and that is Solomon Grundy, who is number 18. You legitimately cannot beat the game without Solomon Grundy or Swamp Thing, because these are the only two characters who can do the swamp panels, which makes them super powerful, and that's not the only reason why they are here on the ranking. Both of them have this special attack, which is very similar to Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs in LEGO Marvel 1, where it can one-shot any big character, and to do it, you literally tap a button and they will pick a boulder up out of the floor with roots and then throw it directly in front of them, and it's such a cool animation and so broke. And then they made Grundy completely different in LEGO DC Supervillains, but somehow made him even better, and he is up next. They updated him so he attacks with tombstones, and if you pay close attention, you will notice on the tombstones that there is a logo of one of the Justice League members, and this will change all the time randomly. It's so much fun just seeing who you get. Imagine the disrespect if he pulled out Batman's parents' tombstones, and then he has his chain attack, which they gave to Captain Clown. I think TT Games have a thing for Grundy. They always make him mega good. Number 16, Clayface. I cannot believe it took them all the way up until LEGO DC Supervillains to make Clayface a big character, and he is not even in LEGO Batman 3. I know. What? They made up for him not being in LEGO Batman 3 because he is absolutely nuts in LEGO DC Supervillains. When he picks up enemies, he puts them inside of his body and then turns them into a basketball. And then Clayface himself can turn into the boulder from Indiana Jones. Watching him attack is like watching multiple transformations. It's so interesting. Earlier in the video, I said I like different shockwave attacks that are not just a Hulk clap, but they made Clayface's unique because his arms and hands get bigger, even to the little details, like when he jumps, he will melt into the floor and then form back. The amount of care they put into Clayface and Grundy is insane, but Clayface is better. Number 15 is the legendary Fing Fang Foom. You know why he's here on the ranking. He can transform super big, and you can make him even bigger by equipping Big Head Mode. Now he's Fing Fang Thick. I guarantee when you discovered this for the first time, you lost your mind. Everyone did. And then next up, we have Trigon and Anti-Monitor. Yep, these two characters can transform mega big too. And you probably didn't know this, but when you are mega big as Anti-Monitor or Fing Fang Foom, they actually appear on the map because they're so big. The reason they are above Fing Fang Foom is because these two have a lot more abilities, and Anti-Monitor's design is just gorgeous, especially in Gotham City at night. I forgot that he appears in the post-credit scene of LEGO DC Supervillains. I wonder if the next LEGO DC game actually sticks with Anti-Monitor being the big bad. Number 12, Ultimate Venom, and then we have Carnum at number 11. Back in 2017 and still today, I am so impressed with the web slinging on Carnum and Venom. To say they are big characters, it feels so smooth, and I love it when they turn and face the camera. Hello. Just like with Clayface, it's so interesting watching them attack, forming things out of symbiote, and there's only very subtle differences between the two. And again, just like with Clayface, they can put enemies inside of them, but it is so much darker. They dissolve them with their stomach acid and then spit them back out. Because of how well they did the web slinging and Carnum being an original character, that's why they're just outside the top 10. And coming in at number 10, honey, it's Mr. Incredible. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This ain't a big character. He is, because there's a minifigure version in the game. Mr. Incredible gave us the birth of the mid-fig, so he gets bonus points for that. And the best thing about him is his shoulder barge. You can send vehicles flying. Honestly, I've never had so much fun with a character in a LEGO game. And because he is a mid-fig, he can drive vehicles, and big characters can do in LEGO Marvel 2 with Kingpin's car. He has so many outfits, so I've just counted them as one, a bit like the Trolls. And his ability to be able to pick up any regular minifigure and throw them allows for a lot of players in co-op, and you can reach areas you wouldn't be able to without a flying character. Mr. Incredible's super move is also one of the strongest in the game. He truly is incredible.
Say that again?
Next up is Atrocitus. Atrocitus is crazy in LEGO Batman 3. He can rodeo ride a gigantic bull and then send one charging towards enemies. And his idle animation includes another character, which is Dexter the cat. He just crawls around him. It's so adorable. Atrocitus easily deserves the number 9 spot. Now, next up is all of the Hulkbusters, and I'm gonna go from worst to best, but they're all good. And coming in at the bottom at number 8 is Hulkbuster Mark II. From the Infinity War DLC, the Hulkbuster plays the same as he does in Marvel Avengers. He's got an updated appearance, but they took away the transformation and all of the character interactions with him just bug out. I don't think you're meant to be able to interact with him, but it's funny seeing what happens. Then we have the Squirrel Buster. I appreciate how they changed the laser so it fires berries and she shoots out massive acorns. But above had to be the original Hulkbuster, and then above that is the Stan Buster. They are all slightly different but amazing in their own ways and look absolutely gorgeous. A giant brick-built character who can fly around, do everything Iron Man and Hulk can do. They 100% deserve to be here on the ranking. Now, next up is a character you would not expect to be in the top 4, and that is Frankenstein. This is one of the coolest LEGO game characters. When he attacks, he jumps into the air and slams his sword into the floor, sending out a shockwave that knocks enemies back. Then he draws his revolver and hit fires mid-air. That combo is so smooth. And he hit fires like a gunslinger. How sick is that? Then next we have Frankenstein from LEGO Batman 3, and this version has a better appearance, and when he sprints, he uses his massive sword to pivot and turn with such smooth motion. It feels way too cool, and come on, he's Frankenstein. Of course his attacks are gonna dish out electrical damage. Seriously, he's one of the most underrated big characters in both LEGO DC games and needs more love. Now it is time to determine who is the best big LEGO game character, and the two big characters we have left are Thanos and Darkseid. I have talked about Thanos in LEGO Marvel 2 a lot on the channel. He is the second most powerful LEGO Marvel game character behind Stan Lee. He has all of the Infinity Stones and flies around on a giant chair. And now it's time to talk about Darkseid, who is just as powerful. And did you know in LEGO DC Supervillains, Darkseid's Omega Beams can destroy gold, silver, and even sonar bricks? And they perfectly did his Omega Beams, letting you control them and send them wherever you want. And when he attacks, he crushes enemies with meteors. And now it all comes down to this. Out of the two, who deserves to be the number 1 best big LEGO game character? It was tough, but in the end, I have decided to go with Darkseid. Thanks for watching, everyone, and why not check out this video? Adios!